Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Learn Plan Profit. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day. I'm going to start sharing my screen so you guys can see what it is that I am looking at when it comes down to overall, overall just patterns and stuff like that. I really do not think that I'm actually going to give it a couple seconds so I can actually speak to the team and for you guys to be all able to see me and stuff like that. So let's do that first. Here we go. What's up? What's up? Good morning, guys. How are you guys all doing today? So I believe that there is 4 minutes until the natural gas report comes out. Personally, I'm not going to be trading today. Just wanted to go live, break it down with you guys, and kind of go based off of that. So if that's okay, let's go ahead and I'm going to do a couple breakdowns. I was following JNUG. JNUG started to show signs of a downward pattern. It's really aggressively trading in between the EMA line and that bottom VWAP. Congrats to all those that are trading and that were quick to shift to JDST this morning. JDST has been showing signs of an uptrend pattern in between that middle and top VWAP. It's been pushing up pretty aggressively, especially after even its aftermarket sell-off. Pushed up quite a bit, up over 6%. Based on that dip from when it broke above that middle VWAP. So not really its lowest point. From its lowest point, let's go ahead and check that out. Up almost 8%, so 7.81%, stuff like that. So let's go ahead and check this out. Let me close this out. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. So we got about 3 minutes until the natural gas report comes out. So that is between UGAS and DGAS. Wanted to get some of your guys' opinion or what it is that you guys would like me to do when it comes down to breaking it down. Overall, if we look at the 10-day analysis, UGAS has been doing, there's kind of been a shift of direction, right? So natural gas itself was showing signs of a continuous downward pattern. If we look at /NG, the same pattern kind of follows. It was aggressively descending. Now it showed signs of an uptrend pattern. It's approaching that SMA indicator, which might act as a resistance. So very quickly, something that we might want to take into consideration that it might be reaching its peak formation. It can continue to rally, just something that might act as a resistance. Going based off of last week's patterns, let's go ahead and check that out. Let's see. So I'm going to go on a 10-day analysis. So set 10-day, 30-minute, and we'll check it out on how it performed last Thursday. So last Thursday, we saw signs of a sell-off. So this is kind of like when you guys could see this huge volume bar. That's pretty much when that report ended up coming out. So we have about 1 more minute until it comes out. So a couple seconds left. But we can see that there's quite a bit of a shift. Altogether, we should understand that as of right now, natural gas itself is bullish. So regardless if there's a pullback or not, then you guys should continue to push up. So if you don't want to trade the overall report itself, don't feel forced to. One thing that I've done multiple times is if you understand which one's pushing up, regardless if it pulls back down because it pulled down pretty aggressively, or if it can, it offers dip buy potential. So there it goes, sold off. Let's check this out. So there it goes, pretty aggressive sell-off on you guys itself. It should drop. It should drop about 2 to 3%, if that, from its overall original price. Okay, but altogether, you guys could see. So it doesn't mean that it has to happen, but something that's very common when these natural gas reports come out, especially when something is bullish, right? So UGAS has been bullish within the past couple of days, and it makes sense on why it can recover. So I would give it a little bit more time for this thing to sell off. Again, it's normally about 2 to 3% that it sells off. So let's go ahead and check that out. It's about 1.66 that it's sold off already. Let's see. Okay. All right, it sounded like there might have been an echo. Hopefully you guys can hear me a little bit better now. Let's check this out. Yeah, I think we should be good. You just right-click the lines and then click Remove Drawing. Here we go. Here comes the potential recovery. So again, it just builds this margin, especially because you guys itself is pretty bullish. So it would make sense on why after maybe just a couple minutes, this thing will start picking right back up today. We saw it last week because last week Diaz was still bullish. And Diaz sold, I'm not too sure if it sold off. I think it did sell off, and then it started to recover and stuff like that. So nothing too crazy going on there. Let's check it out. Let's see what happens. Is it going to continue to make lower lows, or is it going to start making higher highs? We can just set our alert and kind of go based off of that. So I've started swinging and day trading cap stocks. Apple and Google and a few stocks having more success. It's a lot less stress, and you don't have to watch it as closely. I like that. Yeah, the less volatile, right? So you're less likely to. I mean, they're easier to not. I don't want to say easier, right? But you have a little bit more time to make sense of its overall direction, right? It doesn't move as aggressively, so you're given more opportunity to, make up your mind. So. Would you day trade any of the UGAs or DGAs? Normally I would. I just don't want to today. I felt very comfortable not taking a position yesterday. The ones that I have felt like that I missed out the most on was JNUG yesterday because of the huge push up. It looks like it's selling off quite a bit. It's giving back quite a bit of its profits. So based on its peak today and how much it sold off, pretty decent amount. It almost hit highs of $8. Sold off right now. It's a 730. So who knows? This thing can continue to sell off, and that would be an amazing day for JNUG itself, or for JDST itself. So if the rally continues, great. We could see what it's been supported by. So we just have to follow up with it and see if it continues that rally. So if anything, these would be the ones I'd be more interested in. There we go. So you guys with that sell-off consolidation now showing signs of recovery, and it makes sense, right? If something is showing signs of a continuous uptrend pattern, and then this report comes out, which can act as a negative catalyst, it drives the price down. First of all, you didn't know which direction it was going to be going. I didn't know which direction it was going to be going. So something we've talked about multiple times within Learn, Plan, Profit is to not try to predict and get in right before the natural gas report, to focus on waiting for the sell-off, waiting for it to consolidate, showing signs of a push right back up, and then capitalizing on that 1 to 2% margin that might be left as then it continues to push up for the remainder of the day. That would make much more sense to me, because those are variables that you can actually make sense of, rather than trying to predict which direction it's going to be heading. You need more. Yeah. Yeah, it's up to you. It's different investment styles. So if you like holding a specific position for a longer period of time, 100%. So TNDM would be one of the only ones as of right now. If you guys remember, when it came down to the call out, not even call out, I don't call out stocks, I just talk about them, right? And when this thing had a sell off and then started showing signs of an uptrend, you guys just broke above its resistance. And it broke above the EMA line, showing signs of an uptrend pattern. This was literally when was this? Okay, so today's Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, right? We talked about this one in our Sunday stock talk, and the amount that it's pushed up, almost 15%. And look how consistent it's been. I've had so many people, first of all, people were giving me credit for bringing this up for TNDM. I want you guys to know that this was brought to my attention. And that's the whole point of our group, right? It's not just to watch me trade, but it's for networking purposes, that you identify people that are, good at finding quality stocks, and you really just need one good quality stock to continuously grow your account, right? You don't need that many. And that's why, so when I went through the list of the amount of people that were breaking down stocks, I was really surprised that not that many people had TNDM. There's very few that did and that took action, that performed very well. But some people then don't like, I guess, the continuous uptrend pattern, and I'm there as well, right? This thing has covered over 14%, this week itself, and that would have been an amazing week, right? That would have put me pretty much to my weekly goal, and it's just an area of opportunity, right? So now it's looking a little bit more on the overbought side. You can see the RSI definitely a little bit more overextended, but I think it's just time for us to realize that, if you're really struggling like growing your account, regardless if you have a big account or a small account, and you're trying to predict all these reversals and stuff like that. Let's keep it simple. Let's really slow it down, and let's maybe reduce the dollar value that you're investing in, and then just start focusing on these quality trades. Whatever's pushing up, whatever looks like a good deal, whatever shows signs of just growing your account in general. I think that would make much more sense. Ricky, do you think that JDST is showing signs of a peak formation? Jaina can make a comeback. I was looking at forward/GC, and looking at it, the 1 day 1 minute chart, it broke below that middle VWAP. So I still think it has some more margin to sell off. That's just my 2 cents. And honestly, because of how Jaina performed yesterday, and when I thought it was going to reverse and stuff like that, it just continued to rally all day. So again, just understand that not only is it trading below the EMA line, but it's trading below the middle VWAP, right? So it's a very aggressive descending pattern because it's holding below the EMA line. But even if it tries to recover, it can still get rejected by the middle VWAP and the SMA indicator. So it's very bearish at the current moment. That's my 2 cents. Doesn't mean anything, especially if you don't see value in it. But if there were something that, like, I've been watching JDST since the market opened, since it broke above the middle VWAP, it's one that I was about to take a position on, and I just reminded myself. This is why, like, I got kind of salty yesterday, and today as well. It's because, like, I identify these, and I think I identify these reversals and I don't take action, but it's because, like, I'm just not in a position to take like a position right now, and I almost feel like I'm losing money because I'm not taking action on these positions. So yeah. All right, so we have a breakdown call out, and that's weird. Okay, well, it looks like it's an IPO. I would not trade this. This would be solely based on momentum. If you're comfortable with that, 100%, all power to you. And it's trading off of the EMA line. It's bouncing off of that. That's great. It looks very overextended. Not much data to go based off of. I would not hold this. Like, it just would not make sense. I would focus on this to be a day trade, and it's great that it's up over 2% on the day or 20% on the day. All power to you, but I just would not force it. What's an IPO? It's a stock that was just recently introduced to the stock market. That was made public. It's like initial public offering. All right. Yeah. All right. All right. But can we, like, what? How are you guys feeling today? Like, I really want, like, we have 500 of you, 500 of you guys tuning in right now, and this is live, right? I really need to, like, talk to you guys, like, regardless if they're like, yeah, I agree. The report was so weak today. It was. Didn't build much margin, and it recovered, I think, right away. Just watch out with this resistance. But I just want to talk to you guys. Like, how are you guys feeling this week? I've been feeling, I don't know if it's because I have not been trading as much, but I've been feeling very distant. I was telling the guys yesterday, that's why I went live on the TechBud Solutions Facebook group. And it just, I don't know what it is, but I've been feeling distant from trading. I've almost been feeling like, not depressed, but like sad, and stuff like that. So I really need to talk to you guys, and I want to ask you, like, what is it that I can do to make your experience within Learn, Plan, Profit better, within our community better, and stuff like that? Should we just continue breaking down these stocks and stuff? I don't know why I'm going on such a tangent, but I've just been feeling weird. And yeah, I just wanted to see how you guys were feeling and stuff like that. Back to the basics. Best week I've had in LPP. Wow. Well, that's super cool. Giveaways. Okay. No, no, no more vacations. That's like the most. That's the last thing that I want right now. Yeah, people. A lot of you guys are saying it's something about like the house and stuff like that. Um, I don't know. I really don't know. Like I'm just trying to talk to you guys, and like I don't know what it is, but I've just been feeling distant from the group. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Don't be afraid to take breaks. Yep. Finish your office. I know. There's just so many things like our team is working so well right now, as in like the actual people. But I just feel like myself, like I'm doing. I just felt like I've been more distant from you guys. I don't know if that's just me, but just by me not trading, I yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I haven't been able to provide like the most value. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like right away. I mean, I'm doing these breakdowns and I'm going live with you guys, but I'm not trading. I'm trying to focus more on you guys, but then I feel like I'm just not trading, and I'm just like, okay, well then they're gonna get mad that I'm not trading for a week, and it's just been in the back of my head and stuff like that. So yeah, JDST, although it pulls back to the EMA line, it's been killing it. So no, maybe you're spread too thin. I wouldn't say that. I mean, we just started school, but I would say with the workload that we have right now, it's been very consistent. I wouldn't say that that's something that that would be affecting me at all. But okay, I genuinely like wanted just to ask like if there was anything that I could do to either provide more value, to assist you guys more, or if you think that there is any part, and I truly do mean this, if there's any area of improvement or any part of my role as like, like trying to run like Learn, Plan, Profit and even TechBot Solutions, let me know. Let me know absolutely like if there's anything that I can do to better assist, and I'd be more than happy to either implement it or do something like that. So all right, but after that, I mean, it looks like you guys are doing great. Some of you guys are saying that this is your best week ever, and that really, I think, makes me happy. So let's go ahead and just start breaking down stocks, if that's all right with you guys. Then I'll just start doing breakdowns for you guys, and then we can call it a day and kind of go off of that. So we got like a group saying IMMU. Let's check this out. So it's a downward pattern as of now. Yeah, no signs of an uptrend pattern. Looks like it's selling off. Looks like its normal resistance is right around this, again, very conservative resistance at the $26 price point. And then its overall support normally can be anything around like $23, or what is this? Around $22.50 to $24 is normally where it bounces. Do you see this right here? Do you see this right here? Around this area right here, it's sold off a little bit more aggressively. So one of the biggest things that I think that we could see from IMMU is that it really reacts very nicely to the direction that the EMA line is pointing. So as of right now, it is when it was pointing up, it showed a very continuous signs of an uptrend pattern. When it points down, very aggressive downward pattern. So I would really look for the direction that the EMA line is pointing and wait for that reversal. That would be something that I would personally look out for. So I'm just going to set an alert, and then we could follow up with this one. Appreciate that, Austin. Thank you, man. Let's see. Okay, I like that, Dylan. Thank you again. Oh, thank you, Edna. No, I definitely like I don't want like So I like this question or the suggestion of like maybe let someone in your team host your streams and more intro questions and leave the deeper technical analysis to me. Like I personally like love speaking to even the beginner traders because I get to identify like if you've ever direct messaged me and you're like a beginner and you're just getting started, one of the first things that I encourage you to do is to like let me work with you to break down a stock. Like that is one of my favorite parts because like I think while I'm working with you and it takes a little bit more time, but when you get that aha moment and actually understanding like and then we see eye to eye, like that is one of my favorite parts. That's what makes me feel connected and makes me feel like complete and like that I'm actually helping someone understand what they're doing. Like that is my favorite part. Like let's say like Don Front, right? As you guys know, he's a well-versed trader. He's very well known within Learn Plan Profit. If he were to tell me like, hey, what do I think about this stock? And then I tell him, he's like, all right, thanks. Like I'm not gonna feel like I love Don and stuff like that, but I'm not gonna feel as like accomplished because I know Don understands what he's doing, right? Same thing with Austin, same thing with a lot of our experienced traders. They understand what they're doing. They're really just maybe getting my own 2 cents. But I think best like the most rewarding part is like getting people to that point where they already then can help other people. That's like that would be their goal. Okay, let's do that. So let's go ahead and break down Fang. Okay, so I can see that it almost looks like it has low volume. Okay, so it's a downward pattern in between middle and bottom view up. So no, it doesn't have low volume. It looks like now it's starting to show signs of a potential reversal. Do you see this where it like sold off? It approached the support, this kind of like price range, right? And then it pulled back, right? It hit highs, so it started showing signs of a potential reversal. I would like to follow up with this one and see. So right now, it looks like the MACD is showing signs of a peak formation, RSI is pointing down. So it's more signs of a potential pullback and stuff like that. I would like to set a series of alerts if this thing starts to make higher highs. I think that's one of the most attractive things. We can set an alert if it starts to pull back even more as well. But I would really like to follow up with it when this thing starts pushing up. And just understanding that it does a lot of consolidation around the 130 to 135 area. So that's more of that sell territory or that sell price range. So being able to do that, it offers a pretty decent margin of return depending on where you sell, a little bit over 10%, so 10 to 15% depending on where you enter and exit. So yeah, so JNUG trying to make a comeback. There it goes. Let's just be very careful that we understand that, that middle view up can be acting as a resistance as well. I like that. So to restructure the course to title them a little bit better, 100%. Let's see. Started with real money and already up 1K this week. Roman, that's absolutely amazing. Super happy to hear that you're doing well and that you actually understand like what you're doing. I think like that has to be like I love to hear when people make profits. Like that's great, but like it's not that uncommon, right? Like people make money all the time. My favorite part is when people actually understand how they're growing their account. That's the difference, because if you understand how to grow your account, like yes, you'll make mistakes along the way, but that's a quality and a technique that you can pretty much live off of or utilize for the rest of your life. And I think that's what's most important. So yes, I agree. Please, INGN. Again, if you guys want me to break down stocks, they have to be in that ticker call out format, and please tag me just so I can see that it highlights it like this, like in that orange font. All right. INGN. Wow, I actually really like this one. INGN shows a very similar pattern to what's it called? TNDM, very consistent uptrend pattern. So I'm just gonna add it. So INGN, we'll add it here. So it's a very consistent uptrend pattern. This might be another one that we could continue to follow and see how it trades. 20-day analysis, yeah, just very consistent. Looks like it had an aggressive push up. Now it's selling off. Last time it does this, it consolidates for a little bit and then starts to push up. So I wouldn't force my entry, especially with the RSI a little bit more overextended. I would try to aim more for a 40 to 50 RSI based on previous patterns. And then just to make sure that the MACD is starting to show signs of an uptrend and the overall direction is pushing up. So amazing job finding these picks. So thank you again for that. I'm actually really impressed that this one was brought up. We've talked about I believe. I think it might be like IMGM or something like that, but yeah. I've recently had this question for a very long time. I'm slightly confused on drawing support and resistance lines. How do you need to go about drawing them, like 1 day, 7 days, and 10 days? So, well, Bonehead, one thing that I would like ask yourself is like, are you doing a technical analysis like for a swing trade or a day trade? And that's where the time frames change, right? So if you're going in for a swing trade, obviously you're probably going for larger margins. So the support and resistance are not going to be like as tight, right? I don't think that this is a good example. Maybe something like UGAS, right? So UGAS, when it built the support here, right? As in like, let's say it built the support. So it started to reverse here, but it did a lot of consolidation here. So I'd call $56. Again, they're just price points. So I'd call $56 is really where it stopped making lower lows and then broke back up and it started making higher highs, right? Now looking at previous patterns and the SMA indicator, I could say that, okay, $60 can be a potential resistance. So this is not a day trade, right? It's going to take a couple days for it to go from 56 to 60. So obviously I have to go through larger time frames, and it's because it's more of a swing trade than a day trade. Now, if I were to go for a day trade, there's still these margins, right? Because during pre-market hours, I could maybe identify low points, high points, and stuff like that. So I could draw support here, draw resistance here, and those support and resistance would be relevant to the day trade opportunity rather than the swing trade opportunity, right? Because I'm not trading from $56 to 60. I'm trading from, like, let's say 59 to 60, which are much smaller margins. So I hope that that explanation can kind of make it easier for you to understand. And if not, then direct message me. I'd be more than happy to work with you. It would be interesting to see everyone's account before and after 1 year of joining LPP. I think that would be very not only like interesting to see like their account, but also their understanding. And we have a lot of people that start with learn plan profit, and because they got into investing, but then they end up what's it called, branching off to like maybe different markets or different forms of investments, but it's because we exposed them to the idea of investing. I had a guy that got into real estate recently and started buying and reselling houses, but he got started with the idea of investing in the stock market. It didn't work well out for him, and then he just shifted to real estate investing because, you know, he was just so exposed now to the market of investing and stuff like that. And regardless of however it is that I could be a positive catalyst for people, I think that's what's really important. Ticker symbol BABA. I got an alert today that I believe that BABA ended up making higher highs. Yeah, highs of above 167. That was my alert. 180-day analysis. I believe it's still trending down. Yeah, so it is trying to push up. I think this should follow a very similar pattern to, no, not Facebook. Wow. So yes, it is pushing up. It's very overextended with the MACD, the RSI as well. It makes sense on why it could start pulling back. It's also been very bullish or bearish within the past couple of days. So something that I would, be careful about. Okay, so sorry, I saw that you kept calling it out, but you weren't having it in that ticker call out format. So yeah, I could tell right away that this thing, what's it called, has very low volume. So because of that, I personally would not trade it at all. It's showing signs of a descending pattern, no full signs of a reversal just yet. If you want to treat it as a day trade, then great. It would be very difficult for me to make sense because, again, this is all I have to go off of, and there's barely any volume and stuff like that. So not really something that I would be too interested in trading, and the volume is way too low for me to even consider taking the idea of a trade. Overall direction of this is not even pointing up. It's still descending. It could 100%, even if it pushes up to like 46, could still 100% get rejected. It's been a strong downward pattern. So I wouldn't force my trade on this one. Okay. And again, I just want to remind you that, so what's it called, based, like, I could see that there's a lot of people calling different stocks out. Again, I could only go based off of like what I see. I'm not ignoring anyone, so I hope you don't get offended by me not being at, like, breaking down your stock right away. So JDST just pushed above 83.50. Here we go. So AGS showing signs of an uptrend pattern, right? Well, not really. Showing signs of a big picture long-term pattern. It sold off pretty aggressively, still trending below the EMA line, so kind of still trending down recently. MACD looks good. RSI looks good. I'm going to set an alert for when this thing breaks above $30. So that would be much more important to me because, again, when it breaks above this EMA line should start pointing up, and then we have the margin from 30 to 32 to cover. And 30 would be, just based on previous patterns, 32 would be a resistance that I would identify as this thing tries to continue its rally. So that's kind of what I would look out for. I'm also going to send an alert if it starts making lower lows. All right, CMCM. All right. Ticker symbol CMCM showing signs of a strong downward pattern. Like, I don't know why this one would be necessarily called out. It's very aggressive descending. Intraday, it's not doing too well either. It's up 4% on the day, but it looks like it already peaked out and completed its margin. Yeah, it looks like it's actually making lower lows, right? It continues to make lower lows, and its highs are lower highs as well. So I would personally stay away, of course. Yeah, JDST was really killing it. Almost hit highs of $84. That's really solid. So if we see the entire margin that it's covered, pretty solid. I already broke this one down, Steven. Okay. All right. So Amazon itself, again, very continuous and strong uptrend pattern. Again, if you want me to break down the stock, then please have it in the trigger call out format. I'm not going to do any more breakdowns if they're not in the call out format. So slight resistance at about that 2000. It's definitely showing signs of an uptrend pattern. Next resistance based on previous patterns is 2050. Obviously, this stock is pretty expensive, so not everyone can necessarily afford it or trade it. But if you see value in it and you think that you're getting in when it's actively trending up, and not only just that, but that the margin of profit is worth it, then that can definitely be something that might be worth exploring, right? It definitely has quite a bit of margin that it could push up, so really nice to follow up with that. So definitely showing signs of an uptrend pattern and stuff like that. It's above the SMA, overall direction is pushing up, and above the EMA as well. So all right, so we have a call out. So TQQQ. Okay, so TQQQ. We talked about this one in our Sunday stock talk, and it was when it was brought to my attention. It was starting to show signs of an uptrend pattern. It's up 2% on the day. Since we were talking about it, it's cleared a little bit over 4%. I think that it can continue to make higher highs. It pulls back every time that it pushes up. So it pushes up, pulls back, pushes up, pulls back. So I would lock in profits and on the pullback. As long as it continues this uptrend pattern, then it would make sense. So yeah, I really do like the pattern and stuff like that. So we'll just set more alerts. All right. Alrighty. And again, it's the ticker call out format, not just the ticker. So it looks like we're probably done with the ticker call out. So, okay, well, let's just do this last one and then we should be good. Lulu, definitely showing signs of it being overextended. So it's almost showing signs of a peak formation in my eyes. I don't see this to be a good deal. Yes, it can continue to uptrend if you see the margin or opportunity cost to be worth it. All power to you. I just see a lot more potential for a sell-off. So that's personally what I would, be careful about. Do I think that TQQQ will start to continue to make higher highs? it doesn't matter what I think, right? I think its overall pattern and its direction is moving up. So do I think that it can continue to rally? Yes, but in the meanwhile, it does pull back as it becomes overextended. So you need to understand this pattern of how it moves. And I would encourage you to invest a little bit more time to see if you could understand this, this pattern that it has as it pushes up, and see if it's something that you would see of value. So, all right. Looks like we did quite a bit of breakdowns on this live stream. A lot of consolidation, peak formation at around $20 or the higher 19s, lower support at around 1705. So it definitely makes sense. Overall direction is still pointing down as of right now, or at least it's pulling back. Mackie looks good. So let's set the alert. If it starts to reverse back up, then great. If not, then we could step away. But all right. All right, so no more call outs, no more ticker call outs. I'm just going to be doing and answering questions for the next 2 minutes. So do you have any suggestions on how to read candle wicks and what to pay attention for? Are you talking about, like, I'm sure that there's a couple of videos. I don't know about you guys, but that's never been a huge part of my, like a huge factor in why I buy or sell something. 100%, the more you know, the better that you can do. But it also can be like, you could also overwhelm yourself with trying to go based off of too many different indicators. So I'm sure that there's videos online. I don't have any more videos other than Japanese candlesticks and the very basics of that. And the reason why is just that that's never been a factor in why I buy or sell a position. It's just not my style. I don't feel like wicks when it comes down to, I feel like price ranges are much more important to me, and focusing on that I'm getting in for a good deal, and that with the indicators that I have, it's much easier for me to identify when to lock in profits. I've been doing pretty well with that, and I just, there is a video about the Japanese candlestick and stuff like that, like in the course. But if you're talking about like wicks and more like to elaborate more on how to read wicks, and there's so many people that go off of like just trading off of like the candle shape and stuff like that. That's just been never been something that I've done. So yeah. Let's see. I agree, Abel. So Deborah is saying, I keep having issues with pulling the trigger on buying. I like to. Okay, Deborah, let's do this. If you want to direct message me, and if you see value in a stock, either whenever you're ready, whenever you see value in a certain stock and you want to break it down with me, direct message me within the Learn Plan Profit Discord chat. So DM me and we can break it down together. We'll try to build the confidence. We'll try to build your plan, and then we could go based off of that. So, so I just made profit on a weed stock and I feel guilty because you are against weed stocks. No, it's not that I'm against weed stocks. It's just not something that I personally invest in. So I don't care like what you guys can trade. Like let's say TOPS, one of the stocks that I like bash on the most. Just because I bash on it, or just because I personally don't do something, like hope you guys know that like I'm very open-minded, right? If it makes you money and you saw value in something and it made sense to you, you took advantage of an opportunity and it came out on top, right? So all power to you. It's just, I just don't like talking about it because I don't think the majority of people will find a larger form of success in that. So I like that. Any stock trading books you would recommend? No, not that I would recommend. I personally have never read a book about investing in the stock market, so I know, yeah, that's probably an area of opportunity. I just never, that was never a resource that I utilized when it came down to learning. I'm not someone that learns very well with, I would say, more in that traditional aspect. I was someone that learned very well with videos and then practicing it and testing it out, right? So, Ricky, do you use any skincare products? Your skin looks smooth. No, I just think that I don't know. I, I there's a pro and a con. I feel like a pro is like, yes, I do have very soft skin, but also I do think it's because I have like almost no facial hair. So yeah, it's the lighting at the new house. I like it. Would you like some help creating an FAQ of these common questions and scenarios? We do have like an FAQ section. I don't think we've published it in the Discord chat, but yeah, Mark, if you have any questions or any suggestions on FAQs that you want to put together, I'm all for it. Like that, it's definitely not something that I would be against. Speaking of post TME, what we talked about is doable. Oh, chat. All right, sounds good. Yeah, babyface, 100%. That's always something that I was called growing up. You almost got the dub. I like it. Alrighty. I don't want to take too much of your guys' time. Again, looks like actually JNUG is starting to try to recover. I'd like to see how high this one goes and see if it starts to continue to sell off. The market looks a little bit overextended on my eyes. But just to do a little quick recap so we understand kind of what's pushing up, what's pushing down. JNUG, as of right now, I see it trending down. It's trending in between the middle and bottom VWAP. It's being a little bit more bearish on the day. Microsoft, definitely more bullish on the day. Showing signs of continuous uptrend pattern. I want you guys to know on the 180-day chart, it's definitely overextended, so it's due for a pullback. So definitely much more of a day trade than anything else. TQQ showing signs of very similar pattern to this continuous uptrend pattern. A little bit overextended, maybe might be due for a pullback. So I'd focus a little bit more on a day trade as of now if I were you. Same thing. Wow, these are almost all the same exact patterns. What the heck? So PayPal as well, showing signs of an uptrend pattern, very overextended. Showing signs more of a peak formation. So if I were to day trade it, it would be more as a, or if I were to trade it, it would be more as a day trade. UWT showing signs of it being bearish on the day, right? Definitely pulling back quite a bit. That means that DWT, which is the inverse ETF, is pushing up. So it's approaching its support. We might see a bounce here, so this might be something that we might want to follow up with tomorrow. TNDM, again, continuous uptrend pattern, very overextended, due for a pullback. I would focus more on the day trade. HTT pulling back, might bounce around the EMA line, and then we could follow up with it tomorrow and see its direction and how it's trading. I think, what's it called? Let's follow up with this one. Yeah, so there we go. We just broke above that middle VWAP. Had a sell off because of the natural gas report pushing up, showing signs of a potential uptrend. Overall resistance right around $60, and overall direction within the past couple of days has been pushing up, but watch out for this potential resistance around the SMA indicator on the 20-day 1 hour chart. JDST was bullish on the day, bearish within the past 3 days. So again, that's the inverse of JNUG, so you guys should be able to follow that quickly. So I'd still focus more on the day trade when it comes down to that. So Chipotle showing signs of an uptrend pattern overall, big picture, and recently has been holding above the EMA indicator. It's making higher highs. MACD showing signs of potential pullback, so just be aware of that. And I think that's it. INGN. Pushing up, I think definitely a little bit more on the overextended side. I would wait for a pullback closer to the EMA line to make sure that we get in for a better deal. So that's my breakdown. That's my rundown on kind of what I'm looking at and stuff like that. And yeah. So Ricky, do you prefer us to prepare a call out and send you a screenshot before direct message? I just started trading this week and already made $300. All power to you, man. Oh, appreciate that. So if there were to be a perfect way on how people would on how our members within Learn Plan Profit would direct message me is I want the ticker call out format. If you can include a screenshot of maybe just one screenshot, just keeping it very simple of how and why you see value in something. If you see value in a day trade, then obviously it has to be in shorter time frames. If you see value in a swing trade, then it probably has to be in larger time frames. That would be my main focus. Keeping it simple because I'm going through these hundreds of direct messages and I love it. I swear, going through the direct messages because I'm also exposed to great stocks. But some people like message me paragraphs on why they think something is a good deal. And it's so much information that it's like, I didn't need all that, right? And it's great that it makes sense to you and I want you to explain it to me. But to keep it simple on exactly why. Very simple points on why you see value in it. And, I will reassure you with what it is that I think and what I think that you did well. I just realized that the bags under my eyes, I think, are getting bigger. Yeah, I was told yesterday that I look like I have really big bags under my eyes, and I just think it's part of me now. I think they're permanent. How do you find time for college? Thank you for all that you do, and congrats on all your success. Finished LPP last night. Jeff D, appreciate that. Super happy to have you as a part of the team. And I mean, I don't have many classes. I can't say that like I'm not a full-time college student anymore. So that's the sad part. I take 2 classes a week now. I had 3. I take 2 now on Tuesdays and on Wednesdays. I go to the ASU Polytechnic campus. I really do enjoy it. It's like a break for me from everything that it is that we're doing. And I truly do love surrounding myself with people that are part of just that are really like motivated to get things going. So in each one of my classes, someone has recognized me, and it's just great being able to like talk to them and see where they're at, and just people that are so motivated to make it happen in this world. And that's why I'm going back, because I love seeing how motivated people are. And I'm just waiting for, again, someone to have an amazing idea or just an amazing talent, which then I can partner up with them or bring them onto our team and stuff like that. So I'm kind of like, just while I'm there, just hearing people and trying to recruit them and stuff like that. Like that would be my goal, just to bring on more people into our team that I see that are very talented. And I get to learn along the way. So I was thinking about making a video about, like, there's someone that suggested it within my direct messages, that I should make a video about like why I'm going back to school, regardless of the form of success that you achieve. Because like when I was making when I first started, and before I even had like TechWit Solutions, and I had TechWit Solutions, but like before everything else, like when I was like barely broke 6 figures and stuff like that, people were still asking like, hey, why are you going to school? Like, you're doing just fine. And that's just, I don't know about you guys, and I'm going to leave it at that, but I would like to ask and question why so many people question why I'm still going to school if I'm doing well. I think that's like, yes, it could be a very easy answer, but like, I don't think that's a very good quality that a lot of people have, is that right away, if they assume that you're doing well, or if you are doing well, that automatically you don't need to learn more. I think if you really like look and analyze at the people that do extremely well, they're people that are like always learning, right? Always learning new things and always implementing. And I've always been really inspired by that. I swear, like I'm not like a great student, like at school. Like I'm not like a straight A student or anything like that. I just truly do enjoy learning, right? And I think that's something that, like, if I were to be able to provide like or inspire anyone, like that would be a huge like factor. I'm really against the whole like college dropout, F school, like I don't need a degree and stuff like that. Like I get like some people really work well. Like I have a bunch of friends that are influencers, and that's their like key, that's what they're known for. I don't think that that's something that I would like to glorify, nor I would like, I'm someone that thinks about like my family and my kids if I were to ever, be blessed with some. And I just don't want to be someone that was perceived as someone that like, didn't appreciate like learning new things and stuff like that. So did you just say F? Yeah, I didn't want to say the bad word. So yeah. Appreciate that, Daniel. Thank you. And again, that's just me. And I know like some people do extremely well and they don't need school at all. And some people are much smarter than I am and can learn by themselves. But I do very well when I work with a team. So that's just me. And congrats to all you and everything it is that you guys excel in. So the last section is very college and success are not mutually exclusive. I like that. All right, sounds good. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this stream, and hopefully I was able to help a couple of you guys out. And just wanted to remind you guys that you guys are all great people, and that you guys, hope you guys all have an amazing day. So thank you guys again for your time. Continue working hard, continue following your dreams. Let your passion be what drives your success. I'm going to go ahead and grab some food, and I need to build the office today. So that's definitely not something that I'm looking forward to. So hope you guys have an amazing day. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note, guys. Thank you again for your time. Take it easy, team. Happy Thursday. Make someone smile today. At least, yeah, make someone smile today. Take it easy.